Let's be honest. Most men think making a woman miss them is about disappearing, ignoring her, or pretending to be busy. But that's not what actually works. Because here's the truth. A woman doesn't miss you just because you go silent. She misses you when your absence feels different. When it creates an emotional gap she can't fill with anyone else. See, a lot of guys think no contact or pulling away automatically makes her start thinking about them non-stop. But if she never felt something deep when she was with you, she's not going to feel much when you're gone either. And if you're doing it out of manipulation or to get a reaction, women sense that energy. We might not say it, but we can feel when a man's pulling back is fake or desperate. What actually makes a girl miss you is when your presence had a real impact. When she remembers how grounded you were, how calm you stayed, how you never chased validation, and how you carried yourself with quiet confidence. It's not the silence that gets her. It's the memory of how she felt when you were around. Women miss emotional security more than attention. They miss how a man made them feel. Safe, seen, and a little challenged. They miss the kind of man who doesn't try to prove his worth through words, but shows it through his composure. So if you're trying to make a woman miss you, stop focusing on tactics and start focusing on energy. Because women don't miss men who chase. We miss men who made us feel something real. And then disappeared with peace, not bitterness. Today, I'm going to tell you what actually makes a woman miss you. Not the surface-level games, but the real psychological and emotional reasons behind it. These are the things most men get completely wrong. And once you understand them, you'll never have to make a woman miss you again. She just will. 1. She misses you when your energy feels unavailable, not your attention. Here's something most men never realize. Women don't miss you because you stop texting or calling. We miss you when we can no longer feel your energy. There's a big difference. When a man pulls his energy away, meaning he's emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually detached, a woman feels that absence in a way that words can't describe. It's not about the phone going quiet. It's about the connection feeling gone. Let me explain it like this. Imagine you were once that guy who always checked in, always made her laugh, always cared what she thought. Then something shifted. You stopped reacting to her moods. You weren't cold, just calm. You didn't chase anymore, but you also didn't hold resentment. You simply focused back on yourself. You started giving your time and attention to your own life instead of waiting for her to notice you. That's when something strange happens. She feels the void. Because women can sense when a man's attention is no longer orbiting around them. It's not anger, it's peace. And that peace confuses her. Suddenly, you're not feeding her ego anymore. You're not validating her through messages or checking her social media. You're living in your own lane, quietly rebuilding your confidence. And that silence, that self-control, becomes powerful. She'll start wondering, why doesn't he react anymore? Did he lose interest? Has he found someone else? That's when curiosity turns into emotional tension. And that's the root of missing someone. It's not sadness at first, it's confusion mixed with intrigue. A woman misses what she can't feel, and when she can't feel your energy, the part of you that used to be emotionally tied to her, it creates a mental pull. The truth is, women don't crave constant communication. We crave emotional presence. And when you remove that, not by ignoring her, but by focusing your energy elsewhere, you take away something that can't be replaced by another man's attention. So, if you want to make a woman miss you, stop trying to get her to notice your absence through actions. Make her feel your absence through peace. Because once she realizes she can't reach your energy anymore, that's when she'll finally start missing you. 2. Emotional imprint. The real reason. She thinks about you later. Here's the truth most men overlook. A woman doesn't miss you because of what you did. She misses you because of how you made her feel. That's the emotional imprint. It's what lingers after you're gone. It's the quiet, unexplainable energy that hits her when she's scrolling through her phone, lying in bed, or hearing a song that reminds her of you. Every man leaves some kind of imprint, but only certain men leave one that sticks. It's not about being perfect or overly romantic. It's about being real, grounded, and emotionally balanced. The men who leave a lasting impression are the ones who don't try too hard to impress. They stay true to themselves. They show presence without pressure, interest without neediness, and affection without losing self-respect. See, when a woman spends time with a man who's emotionally centered, she feels something rare. Safety with depth. He listens, not to reply, but to understand. He's confident, but not arrogant. He gives her attention, but not obsession. That balance is powerful because it's not easy to find. Most women are used to men who either give too much or too little. But when she meets a man who gives just enough, while still protecting his own peace, it leaves an emotional mark. That's why even after she walks away, or even when she's with someone else, her mind drifts back to you. Not because you're the most attractive or successful, but because your energy felt different. You didn't need her approval to feel valuable. You didn't lose yourself in her attention. And deep down, that's what makes a woman wonder, did I mess up? That's the power of emotional imprint. It's silent, but unforgettable. You didn't chase, you didn't beg, you simply were. You gave her a glimpse of what real masculine energy feels like. Calm, confident, and emotionally mature. That kind of experience doesn't fade easily. So, when you think about what makes a woman miss you, stop focusing on tactics like no contact or posting to make her jealous. Focus on who you were when she had access to you. Because if your presence had real depth, if it carried authenticity, strength, and peace, then even your absence will speak louder than words ever could. 3. Why silence alone doesn't work, and what actually does. A lot of guys think that going silent is the magic formula to make a woman miss them. You stop calling, you disappear for a while, and you wait for her to panic and come running back. But let me tell you the truth from a woman's perspective. Silence alone doesn't do much. If anything, it only works if your energy had value before you went quiet. When a man suddenly goes silent without building any emotional depth beforehand, it doesn't make a woman miss him. It just makes her move on faster, because to her, there's nothing meaningful to miss. The silence feels empty, not mysterious. It feels like a weak attempt to get attention, not a confident withdrawal of energy. See, a woman only starts missing silence when she's already emotionally connected to the presence that came before it. If she's used to your calm, steady confidence, your grounded way of speaking, your ability to stay in control, then when that presence disappears, it feels like something important is missing. But if she only remembers a man who chased, over-explained, or tried to prove his worth, your silence feels more like a tantrum than self-respect. So what actually works? Purposeful detachment. That means you're not being silent to get something. You're being silent because you're reclaiming yourself. You're redirecting your energy back into your goals, your fitness, your purpose, your growth. You're not watching her stories, not posting to get her attention, not sitting there hoping she notices you. You're genuinely moving forward. When a man's silence is backed by self-respect and self-direction, women feel it. There's a certain strength in that kind of quiet, a calm that makes her wonder, what changed in him? That's when she starts replaying moments, thinking about your energy, and realizing you're not as accessible as before. That's when missing you begins. But silence without growth is useless. It's just noise. Women can sense when your silence is full of resentment or insecurity. We can also sense when it's filled with purpose, peace, and self-focus. The second one makes her curious. The first one makes her forget you. 4. The power of emotional detachment. Without being cold. One of the biggest mistakes men make when trying to make a woman miss them is confusing detachment with coldness. They think pulling back means shutting down completely. No emotion, no warmth, no care. But that's not what real emotional detachment looks like. True detachment is strength. It's calm. It's peace. And it comes from a man who knows his worth and refuses to let his emotions be controlled by someone else's behavior. When a woman feels that kind of detachment, it changes everything. She doesn't feel ignored. She feels your self-respect. She doesn't see you as heartless. She sees you as stable. Because here's the truth. Women are instinctively drawn to emotional stability. It's rare. Most men either overreact or under-respond. But when a man can feel deeply and stay centered, it creates a quiet dominance that we can't overlook. Being detached doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care from a place of choice, not desperation. You can still love, you can still miss her, but you're not controlled by it. You don't send long texts to prove a point. You don't stalk her social media. You don't let your emotions drag you into reactive decisions. Instead, you breathe, you focus on your purpose, and you stay grounded in your own energy. And here's the thing. When a man starts acting this way, women notice instantly. We feel when your energy shifts from attachment to self-possession. Suddenly, you're not giving us that emotional access we used to have. You're not seeking validation anymore. You're just being. That calmness makes a woman question herself. It makes her think, did I lose my hold on him? And that's when she begins to miss the connection. Not because she wants control, but because she senses that you've evolved. True emotional detachment is what separates confident men from reactive ones. It's not coldness, it's control. It's the ability to love without losing yourself. And ironically, that's the very thing that reignites attraction. When you stop being emotionally tangled and start being emotionally composed, you create the space for her to feel your absence naturally. 5. When you move on peacefully, that's when she feels it. Most, you want to know the moment a woman truly starts to miss a man. It's not when he stops texting. It's not when he tries to make her jealous. It's when she realizes he's genuinely moved on with peace. Not pretending, not forcing it, just living, without needing her validation anymore. See, most women can tell when a man is faking it. We know when you're posting on social media to get our attention, or when you're trying to show how unbothered you are. That energy still screams attachment, and attachment means we still have power. But when you stop performing, when you stop chasing reactions and start living fully again, that's when we feel it deep. Imagine this, you and a woman drift apart. Maybe she lost interest, maybe you pulled back. Whatever the reason, the energy faded. At first, she assumes you'll come back. Maybe she even checks your profile expecting to see sad quotes, passive-aggressive posts, or something to hint that you're still thinking about her. But instead, she sees nothing. You're quiet, not in a bitter way, but in a peaceful one. You're focused. You look healthier, happier, lighter. You're not trying to prove a point. You're not chasing. You're not reacting. You've simply redirected your focus. You're in the gym. You're spending time with friends. You're building something. And that shift, that emotional calm, is what hits her the hardest. Because now, you're no longer playing the role she expected you to. That's when the questions start flooding her mind. Did I really mean that little to him? Has he moved on already? Was I the only one emotionally invested? Those thoughts sting, because for the first time, she's no longer in control of how you feel. You've broken the emotional pattern. You're not orbiting her anymore. And women feel that loss of attention like a cold wind. But what makes it even more powerful is that your peace feels genuine. You're not ignoring her to hurt her. You're just done overextending yourself. You've matured emotionally. And that's what makes her miss you on a deeper level. Not because she wants to fix things, but because she finally sees your worth clearly. 6. What makes you irreplaceable in her mind? Every man wants to be the one she can't forget. The one who stays in her mind long after she's tried to move on. But here's the truth. What makes a man irreplaceable isn't his looks, money, or the things he did for her. It's the feeling he left behind. It's the combination of strength, peace, and emotional depth that most women rarely experience in one person. See, women meet plenty of men who chase, flatter, or try to impress. That's easy. What's rare is a man who carries himself with calm authority, who doesn't need her, yet genuinely appreciates her, who gives attention without losing boundaries. That balance between presence and self-control is magnetic. It makes a woman feel something deeper than attraction. It makes her feel respect. You become irreplaceable when you're not emotionally reactive, when you can stay grounded, even when she pulls away. Because most men either panic or shut down, and both kill attraction. But when you stay composed, when you let her drift without begging, blaming, or seeking validation, that's when she starts to realize you're different. Being irreplaceable means you gave her something more than affection. You gave her emotional safety with mystery. She knew you cared, but she also knew you wouldn't lose yourself for her. That's powerful because it creates an emotional tension she can't easily resolve. She knows you were available, but never desperate. You showed her connection, but also independence. And that contrast is what sticks in her mind. It's not about trying to stand out. It's about being authentic. You were yourself fully, not trying to fit into what you thought she wanted. And when a woman feels that genuine energy, a man who's not playing a role, she remembers it. Even if she moves on, that memory lingers. Because real masculine energy leaves an emotional fingerprint that no one else can copy. The man who becomes irreplaceable doesn't chase validation, doesn't play games, and doesn't fold under emotional pressure. He listens. He understands. He challenges her to be better just by being himself. That's why, even when she meets other men, something always feels off. They might be more talkative, funnier, or even wealthier, but they don't feel like you. 7. Stop trying to be missed. Start being the man she regrets losing. Here's the truth most men need to hear. If you're trying to make a woman miss you, you've already lost power. Because missing someone isn't something you can force. It's something that naturally happens when your energy, your presence, and your standards speak louder than your words. The moment you start focusing on what she's thinking, checking if she's noticing you, or trying to create reactions, you're operating from lack, not strength. What makes a woman truly regret losing a man isn't the distance. It's the difference. The difference between who you were when she left and who you became after. When a man levels up quietly, not to prove a point, but to evolve, that's when regret hits her. She doesn't miss the version of you that chased or begged. She misses the version of you that grew, healed, and stopped needing her. If you want a woman to miss you, stop centering your life around her absence. Center it around your purpose. Redirect every ounce of that emotional energy into your growth, your fitness, your focus, your confidence, your self-respect. Women feel that shift. We may not admit it, but we always sense when a man has detached from our influence and stepped fully into his own power. Here's the wake-up call. Women don't miss weakness. They miss strength they once felt connected to. They don't crave attention. They crave the feeling of being around a man who knows himself. That's what makes them question their decisions later. When she realizes you're not trying to get her back, you're not bitter, and you're not waiting, she starts to reflect. Because your peace forces her to face her own. And listen, you don't need